Hi and welcome to the Creative Treehouse. My name is Robin Broom and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. Thanks for joining me in the treehouse today. Today is a fun project because it's a fun fold card. Now this idea did not originate with me. I believe this one was from a French demonstrator, and I will reference her not only in my blog but also on the description of this video. I changed it up just a little bit, but this is a really cool card. You open it this way and then this way. Oh, I've got my extra DSP stuck in here. All right, so that is it. And the fun thing that I've added is I added a magnet. So there's a magnet closure. There's one here and one here. And I even like the little click sound that it makes. So I am going to share with you exactly how I made it. We'll walk through all the steps together and I will give you the measurements. So let me slide the original out of the way for a moment and let's go through all the things that it will take to make this card. Well, part of the base of the card is your typical 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. Your basic A2 card, I believe it is. And you'll also need one more piece of black, and it is 5.5 by 4 3/4, and you are going to score it on the 1/2 inch mark. All right, and we're going to do some more things with that in just a minute. I'll go through the rest of them. This piece of DSP, the polka dotted one, is cut at 5 1/4 by 4. And we're going to also do some things with this piece. And then this piece of DSP is a 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Just an 1/8 inch smaller than the Melon Mambo that goes right back behind it. So the Melon Mambo piece is a 5 1/4 by 4. All right, and then we have a piece of plain, the basic white is on the center, on the inside, the very inside of the card, and it measures 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. All right, and then I cut out of the DSP these two flowers. They have triples, they have singles, and they have doubles, and this is the double. It just happened to fit really, really well. And you're probably wondering, what DSP is this? It was called True Love DSP, and it is a retired DSP, but if you are like me, you might be a DSP hoarder. So I am, and I had it still. I think it was just from last year. And I had to fussy cut it out, but so worth it. So we have that piece, and then there on the white on the inside is a tiny strip of this DSP, and this tiny strip is cut at 4 1/2. And we also have our sentiment and the die that goes behind the sentiment. Now the die, of course, is cut out of the basic black, and this die is from the Painted Labels die. That's just really fun. And the sentiment on the white is from the Peaceful Moments, and it just happens to fit perfectly on there. You can still see the little stitch lines. This I actually used a punch. We're going to be using 2 of the circle punches, which are retired, but perhaps you still have those. If not, other circles would work, even dies. And it was the 1 3/4 inch punch that was used for that. I think that's all on the products and measurements. So let me move these and we will get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take out our trimmer and we're going to measure and mark and cut on the smaller piece of the black that's also going to end up being on our base. Now if you remember, I said we scored it at a 1/2 inch. So from the opposite end of the 1/2 inch on this end, the short end, actually it's the long end, isn't it? Yeah, the long end, we want the halfway mark. And the halfway mark on this, because it's 5 1/2, is 2 3/4. So I'm just going to take the pencil and I'm going to mark it just a little with the 2 3/4 mark. All right, now with the, if you do it this way with this, now I've got you probably can't see it, but this is the 1/2 inch mark that we made, that score line, the 1/2 inch score line, with it being right on the track, I made another mark right here at 1 1/4. You be positive I said that right. Yes, 1 1/4 right here. Now we can turn this around because it's a small measurement, line it back up here and get the other side at 1 1/4 as well. Or if it's easier for you to go all the way to the edge like that with the 1/2 inch score line here, you could mark it at 3. Same thing. So it's 1 1/4 up from the score line. Some people find it easier to flip it and do it that way. Whatever makes sense to you, it's kind of mental gymnastics, I think. So now that we've got that marked, and remember the half mark is opposite of the 1/2 inch score line. So I use my pencil and I'm going to kind of put it on this mark, the 1 1/4 up from that score line, and then I'm going to pivot the paper until I get to the half mark here. And once I have those both lined up in the cutting tray, I will take the cutting blade and I will cut it off. Okay, all right, now we're going to do the exact same thing in the other way. All right, and so I've got this one here, and I'm going to put that 1 1/4 mark here. Here's that half, here's the 1 1/4, and I will slice that off. So now you have this piece. We're going to do something very similar to the polka dotted piece. Let me grab that. All right, just kind of see where my marks are. All right, so you're going to pick one of your long sides to be and make a halfway mark. And this piece of paper is just a slight bit shorter. So the halfway mark is the 2 5/8 inch mark. So that would be right here. So I'm going to make a mark here. All right, and then on the opposite side of that, so that's the half, so we want our marks, our angles to go like this. So on the opposite side of that is where we want to make another mark. So we're going to line up the edge that's opposite the halfway point mark, and we're going to do it at 1 1/8. So 1 1/8 right here. And again, you can turn it and line it up on this side at 1 1/8, or if it's easier, you can slide it over this way and you'll be making a mark at 2 7/8. So whichever way is easier for you. All right, and then I hope I wasn't out of the camera there. All right, now we're gonna make our cut lines. Okay, so we're gonna put it here and the halfway mark, line them up. Again, I'm just pivoting my paper and cutting with the cutting blade. And then again, here's my halfway point. And there is my other line, my other mark. And these are just pencil marks so we can erase them later. My good eraser is not with me at the moment. I almost think I might not have gotten that one completely. Let's see if I don't think it's going to matter a whole lot. I'm gonna do it one more time. I feel like I didn't make it even. Okay, I feel better about that one. And I got a itty bitty strip. All right, pull that out of the way and you'll see how this one should line up with this one. And it's giving you the same border all the way around. There's even a border here right before the mark here. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and fold this, and I'm going to fold it on that 1/2 inch score line. Okay, and then I'm going to lay this up there, and I could glue it and punch it out, the circle out, but I have chosen not to just because I don't want to get glue on my punch. And so instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of the Post-it tape, and I'm going to tape this down on a couple of the sides so it's holding there. All right, and it's important to have that folded over because one time I did it not folded and it didn't quite work. All right, now I'm taking the 1 3/4 inch punch and I'm going to go in this way and line it up as best as I can and line it up. I'm going to push it all the way down so it's just down as far as it'll go this way, and I want to just visually line it up side to side, and I think I've got it pretty close to center. And then I'll push it. You have to push a little bit harder because you're popping out to 2 of the circles, but that way we don't have any glue in that. All right, now we can take our Post-it tape off. You can use other things. You can use washi tape or whatever. This is nice. It also is reusable. You can use it again and again if you were making several of these. All right, now we can adhere it down. I'll use my Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue, which I love. I love for the fact that you have that wiggle room. And this one you really need it because you want to make the circle. That's what I'm looking at mostly, to line up visually there, that there's not any blacks showing. So there is that piece. All right, now we've gotten that. Now we can put it onto our the rest of our card base. This is our score mark here, which is a valley, and we're going to turn it into a mountain. I always say making a mountain out of a molehill, although a molehill is not really a valley. Right, so we've got that piece. Now the interesting thing to me is we're going to put this on the inside of the card, and you would think, well, why not put it on the outside of the card and then you wouldn't see it? Well, it's going to be covered up because if you on this way, this is nice and smooth because it's on the inside. So we'll go ahead and put some glue on this and make sure I'm doing it the right way. Okay, and then again, the liquid glue is great for this. Yeah. Give you a chance to line it up, and I always don't press it all the way down until I'm sure I am, whoops, pleased with it. And I just popped it open, and line it back up again. Hooray for liquid glue. Okay, I think that's good. Let's look on the other side. It looks good. Got a little bit of extra glue there. All right, that's great. And then while we've got it, we might as well go ahead and put our white inside on, which is going to cover up this seam right there. So it's just that piece of basic white. And we'll put that one on, and it covers up. It's almost the same size. It's just a slight bit smaller, which makes it work really well to cover up. And then this little piece of DSP. This is really pretty DSP. I hope you have some of this, or there, like I said, lots of other colors would work with it as well. And we will put it down at the bottom, giving it kind of just a little bit of white edge all the way around it. All right, so there's that part. So let's go ahead and work on this fold. And this one is the Melon Mambo, and this DSP from that same pack. Just really like the black and white together and the pop of Melon Mambo. All right, and just a teeny bit of edge right there, so it's not distracting. It just really, I think, highlights the black and white. All right, we've got that. We'll go ahead and adhere this one down to that panel of our card. So there's just a few tricky cuts, and if you're feeling in the mood for some paper gymnastics and math, then I think you should be just fine. Oh, I just thought of something. Hang on, wait. Let's see. Aha, my apologies. My camera ran out of battery. So hopefully we can piece this back together again. So my hesitation here was I forgot one step, and that is that there's just a little bit of buckle in this. And so that means what we really ought to do, or I've done in all of the previous ones, is we're just going to cut just a tiny bit of this panel off. Just a little bit. It can just be as much as just a 1/16 of an inch, or as little as a 1/16, and as much as an 1/8 of an inch. And so that will allow that to fold over nicely like that. So now that's done. And now we can put let's add just a touch more glue since we had to change a battery out. Now we can put that on our panel. May have taken just a touch too much off because the white is showing on this one, so it needed to be less. I took almost an 1/8 of an inch off, and I probably should have just stuck with the 1/16, but that's all right. Okay, and on this other part, we need to know where to position these pieces, and so what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and adhere the happy birthday. You can see I had one that did not stamp well. It was the stamper and not the stamp. Okay, and then we're gonna put it here and decide exactly where that needs to be to show perfectly. That should be good. All right, so I'm gonna, again, thankful for this liquid glue that gives you a chance to put it where you want it. Oh, I think we got it first try. All right, there's that. All right, so that's down. Okay, and then let's move to the rings on the outside, and we will be using both of those circle punches that I was talking about. We'll start with the 1 3/4. Let me move over just a little bit, be sure we've got enough room. So the 1 3/4 at first, and then we will take the 2-inch circle punch and go back over. And it's a little tricky to line it up exactly even. I think it's pretty close. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, and so this is going to be the ring that goes around here. Just a neat little extra pop of pink. Let's see if I can get the glue to cooperate and give me just a couple of little beads maybe. Come on, liquid glue, there you go. So it just needs a little bit of encouragement sometimes. Do you ever talk to your pieces, card pieces? I know we do a lot of talking when I teach someone how to stamp. We make noises, and if it doesn't turn out right, I said it's because they forgot to make the stamping noises. Okay, we're getting really, really close. Let's do our flowers, and our flowers I popped those up with some dimensionals. Probably use about 4 dimensionals. I'm gonna stay away from the leaves because the leaves are going to go over the edge a little bit. Let me pull the backs off. All right, and then we'll position that. Now, I'm not as fond of the back side of this, so I'm hoping that not much of that will show. We're going to lay that. Let's see. How about right there? That looks good. Okay, so there's that. Now we are almost finished. The only thing that I know of, whoops, I'm seeing one of those dimensionals. I went up too high with that dimensional. Let me see if I can move him down without making any terrible disasters. Aha, success, success. All right, now is the magnets. Okay, so what I did, I have these little itty bitty magnets inside of, I know there's not probably a way that you can tell that there is a magnet in there, because I don't think I can get it to focus on it. But that's okay. There's a itty bitty magnet in there, and I have the bigger piece, and then I have one that is slightly smaller, and we're going to do the slightly smaller one. Let me move this one out of the way because otherwise this one's going to attack it, and they're going to go together. Okay, it's a little bit tricky because it's almost the same size as this little punch, and so it's really tricky to get those on there. I put paper on both sides. I'm flipping it over to show you. And I adhered the paper to the magnet with glue dots, and we're going to use a glue dot now to adhere it. So let me get my multi-purpose tool, and we will put a glue dot on, possibly on this one just one. Okay, one glue dot. Let me get it up there. All right, and let's see which side I like better. I think I like, so there, and as you can see, the glue dot is about the same size, just to show you the size. And then I'll decide where on here I think it would look the best. And you've got the polka dot, so I think I'm going to put it like maybe on top of that one polka dot. All right, and press that down. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another glue dot, and possibly two, on the bigger magnet. Let's see which side I like better. Okay, we'll put one here. And let's just go ahead and add one more for good measure. Okay. Slightly off to this side. Okay, so that's that. Now what I'm going to do is the side opposite where the glue is on this side, on the clean side, I'm going to just kind of drop it to wherever it attaches, so it just magnetized to the other side. So now all I have to do is close it, make sure it's nice and flat, then push, let it push for just a second, and then lift it up, and you've got a magnet on this side and a magnet on that side, and you have your closure. Isn't that fun? Oh my goodness, love it, love it, love it. And your card looks nice and clean on the back. So again, you can just open it up, and that is your card, your fun fold card. I would love it if you would leave a comment and also share with me what you've made, and if you adapted this card even further, or which DSP you chose to use, and how the magnets worked for you. The magnets I was able to find on Amazon. And so anyway, that is the project for today. I am so glad that you joined me in the treehouse, and I look forward to seeing you next time in the treehouse, and I hope that you have subscribed to my YouTube channel. If not, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and you'll be notified of other videos that I come up with. My goal is once a week. I haven't made the goal yet, but I'm working hard. So we will see you next time in the treehouse. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.